So, about Ginzo. I've been using this man for about a day and a half at this point. Really been trying to figure out how good he is and gauge whether or not he's top tier outside the content that he's intended to be used for. So I'm going to talk about all that in this video because of course this is his showcase, ladies and gentlemen. Ginzo, of course, is one of the first ninjas. Actually, the first of... how many are there? 8, I think. And he is a light killer, a defense ignore attacker. So his first ability is Giant Boss Kill level 2. He increases damage to giant bosses by 20%. His next ability is Will of Iron. This will ignore enemies' defense by 100% and autofills art gauge by 1 during third eye. Own art gauge 100 up when activating third eye. By the way, this passive is actually different if you're playing the Japanese version of the game. It only gives you the ignore defense up and autofills art gauge by 1. It does not give you the 100 art gauge up when activating third eye. This was an exclusive global buff for Ginzo. Ginzo's skill is 3,500% dark damage physical. Increase your own art gauge by 10 second cooldown, 900 break. His normal art is 1700% dark damage physical. Reduce enemies physical resistance by 30% for 15 seconds. And then his true art is activates third eye for 150 seconds. Once you're in the third eye state, now you will deal 45,000% dark damage physical, and then you increase your own damage to light enemies by 100% for 15 seconds. His slots are 5-star physical, 5-star defense, and 4-star physical. And we do have this boy's juicy true weapon, so why not talk about it? This thing is going to deal 10,000% dark damage physical. It's going to increase your own physical damage by 30% for 8 seconds, and if the enemy is light, you're going to give them a dark resist down by 20%. Also, it has skill CT when near death, so whenever he's entering that near death state, he's going to get 20% more skill CT. And then he has, of course, the Dusk Moon Fang, which is Ginzo's true weapon ability that it gives to Ginzo. When equipped by Ginzo, all stats 30% up and autofills art gauge by 1 only once. And his cooldown is a 60-second cooldown with a 2,000 break on this bad boy. Ginzo's true weapon I feel like is a must if you feel like using him for a lot of content. And of course, you can make that judgment for yourself if the true weapon is worth it or not at the end of the video once we show him off. So unfortunately, there is nothing here I want to say at the current moment that Ginzo can really fight. So you can kind of see like how strong he truly is in the situation where you can't use crit. The only thing that we have right now is the special EX stage of his event, which that's not really so much challenging as it is like grindy. So I won't be doing that. I will just show you how fast he kills the princess with no crit chance or anything. Also, don't make fun of my 4-star magic equips, fam. I know, they're trash. One thing that I will say is kind of like unnatural is that Ginzo's true art, or more so his activation of his third eye, is extremely quick, which isn't bad. I want to say it's like very jarring of an animation because how fast he does it. It's like, what the hell? You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it's been a while since I've done a showcase. Maybe it hasn't, but to me it feels like I haven't done a showcase in ages for a unit. But here we go in the final fight against Princess. But yeah, has it been a while? I need to actually check how long it's been. Now with Ginzo, I will say that there is something that you can do that's really cool, and it's this right here once I get to it. Once I get Finn's true art up, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So one thing you can do with Ginzo is you can pop his normal art right here, and what it will do is that it will actually give you 100 art gauge, right? Well, you'll have 100 art gauge left over. Dark Finn gives you 20, so you're at 120, plus of course Rimuru and Dark Finn's overtime art gauge, and then you're going to get right back up to true arts very quickly, so you can utilize that physical resist down. I don't like doing his true art, or not his true art, but his normal art whenever he doesn't have his true art, because it takes way too long to get back to true art and you'll wind up just wasting the buff for Ginzo. Now I will say that of course it will benefit his team if his team is mostly physical, if you want to just use that buff purely for damage. But of course, you know, my team isn't mostly physical. My team is of course a combination of physical and magic. I've definitely want this up majority of the time just for him. And also look at that, show him Rue with the clutch freaking paralyzed, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see right here, I mean, we're doing decent damage, I want to say. Unfortunately, I don't have the timer on. I forget to put that on every single time. I mean, we're doing decent damage, and this is mostly Ginzo doing this. I mean, Dark Finn, occasionally, if he gets a blind off, then he'll crit, of course. It's mostly just Ginzo, and Ginzo is doing really nice in this situation. Of course, oh shit, I meant to use my normal art, or my true art first. Well, you get to see right here how much he does with just his true art. As you can see, it's like 21k per hit. I think it was like an 84k hit in the very beginning of the startup. Like I said, you definitely want to be alternating with his normal art at first if you have his true art, and then you go into the true art because it's just going to give you so much more damage overall, and it's going to definitely help you out. So right here, for example, the Shamru do it again? Bro, this thing is broken. We're going to get the nice, gnarly physical resist down, and then we're going to get the... Actually, we may not be able to get the what you call it back. My true art back in time. Maybe we will. Okay, yep, we did. All Alright, and then we're going to pop his True Weapon, which is going to give him more damage and a Dark Resist down, on top of Dark Vent's Dark Resist down. So I think the boss is at 30% Dark Resist down. And as you can see, he's doing pretty good. Of course, this is a fight that he has a type advantage against. I didn't mean to actually use his normal art right there, but of course, you know, take that how you will. You know, maybe you'll say, oh, OP, of course, he's going to do well. This is what he's meant to be used for. Well, that's kind of how the ninjas are, apart from Shuri, because she's a pure damage dealer. But, you know, that's kind of how the ninjas are. They're just meant to be used in these situations where they're actually good in, and they're not meant to be used. I thought it was a 4+. I really thought that was a 4+, but I'll take the level 4. I really wanted a level 4 for Ginzo. Level 4 attack, hey, that'll be clutch. Let's see. Level 4 attack or all stats. I'll be happy if it's one of those. Come on, bro. Come on, show me the money cup, please. Please be level 4 attack. Come on, bro. Come on, please. What the f? So as you can see right there, Ginzo was alright, I want to say. He didn't do anything too crazy, but he did clear the event, and you saw we cleared it with no issues. Now, however, I do want to bring up a very good point. Using Ginzo outside of light bosses, and using him outside of events where you can use crit in, is not going to benefit you that much. If you can use a crit attacker or a crit buffer, you should always use them over Ginzo, because your damage will just be so much more, be able to clear the event so much easier, and he's not going to help you in that. But if you cannot crit them, or the boss has extremely high crit resistance, then I highly recommend using Ginzo, especially if it's a light boss, because most of the time the bosses that do have crit resist are light. Ginzo in Mono Dark is like so weird, because I know my fellow Mono Dark brethren may be asking me this. In Mono Dark currently, let's say if you have, you know, Dark Fin and Dark Kane, no matter what, they're on the team, right? Those guys are a staple. And then you throw in Ginzo, that's your third unit. And then your fourth unit could either be Regulus, Rags, Rim, whoever. Well, if you go for Regulus, your team suffers so much art gen loss that it's really hard to beat harder stages and even nuke it. And then even if you go something like Rags instead, you have to keep in mind that Ginzo is the only one ignoring defense. They don't ignore defense. So Ginzo will be hitting the hardest, but you can't rely on Ginzo just to one-shot the boss by himself, because, you know, with Mono Dark, it's a collective amount of damage, right? It's everybody's damage getting pumped into this one boss. So that's kind of how I feel about him with Mono Dark in that situation. But overall, I think I like him. I think he's, like I said, a high A tier unit. Of course, there are other units in the game that has a defense ignore. I don't know if there's any other unit in the game that has 100% defense ignore, though. There may be, I just don't know off the top of my head. Would I recommend that you go crazy for him? No, not really. I would say that you can wait until he's on another banner and then summon on that banner in hopes of getting him. But guys, thank you all for coming out. It's been your boy OP. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more content on the channel. And last but not least, man, you guys already know. Don't forget to drink water.